back to the Would-Be Carpenter Shop. My name is Donald, and today I'm going to be working on a vintage rock maple picnic style dining room table. It's for minor repairs and a refinish. Let's get started. The stretcher between these two trestles are keyed, which makes it ideal for taking apart. This whole assembly comes apart very easy. Makes it nice to work on. The first bench, sanding completed. Bench number 2. Bench number 2, complete. Alright, here I'm wiping some sand and sealer onto these benches. Here I'm sealing the bottom of the table now. Alright, here I'm going to touch up the tabletop with a little bit of 220, and then I'm going to put some sealer on it. Now the reason I have it sitting up in the shop is because it is so hot outside right now in Vegas. I can't bring the stuff that I would normally bring out of my shop to have more room to lay this down, so it makes things a little difficult, but I deal with it. Here I'm wiping the sand and sealer across the grain as they suggest that you do. Put it on really heavy and then kind of wipe it down with the grain. I put it on pretty heavy, so I let it soak in and then wipe it with the grain with the dry rag. Now these legs here I've already coated with spar varnish and they've dried up really well, and I am sanding them to put a second coat on here soon. Now I hope you don't mind that I've sped it up on the sanding parts, otherwise you would literally be watching hours of sanding, and that's not real exciting, I guess, unless you want me to. All right, I'm back. Here I'm putting on a second coat of sanding sealer. I had to get some indentions out of the top, and I went through the first coat of sanding sealer so that everything remains even. I'm putting on a second coat. That's what we're doing. Yeah, it's set for about 15-20 minutes, and now we can wipe off all the excess. Here I'm putting a little orange oil on some 4/0 steel wool and rubbing down the legs, gently going over it, just feeling the nits disappear. I can feel it cutting into the wood, but you don't want to rub too hard. I forgot to mention, I did all the spraying off camera. There's about 4 coats of finish of semi-gloss polyurethane on all the pieces before I steel wool and wax them. That's the last thing I do over my polyurethane. I'm not sure if you can see the finish on this after I'm done steel wooling it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It really brings out the finish and the wood grain. Just a beautiful, beautiful wood. Maple. Okay, now I'm getting ready to do the bottom of the table with some orange oil and wax and steel wool. Now I'm going to let this set for about 15-20 minutes and let it soak in before I take a dry rag and wipe it off. Now I'll work on the bench legs by sanding them with 220 and then 4/0 steel wool and wax and orange oil. Now I'm just wiping off the dust so that I can steel wool and wax them, which is what I'm doing here, the final coat. And after letting them sit a while, I'm wiping them down with a dry clean cloth. And then the table. And now I'll give the tops of the benches and the top of the table its final rub down with the steel wool and the orange wax oil. And then the once over with a dry clean cloth. And now to give the top of the table the same treatment with the beeswax and orange oil and the steel wool. If you liked the video, please think about liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching.